Welcome to the Uncommon Man podcast. We are your hosts, Devin Jeffries, alongside a very good friend of mine, John Pierce. John, how's it going today, bud?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm cold.
Was
freezing.
was
That's fine. You can call me a sissy. What is it? What was the term I heard last week? I don't remember. Anyways, but yeah. So here in Alabama, where we live, it is getting quite chilly outside. But earlier this week, what was funny was they were projecting like an insane amount of snow and ice, and it was just this doom and gloom and white death is coming.
okay. For reference, we live in Alabama. Your mileage may vary if you live in Delaware,
I
but
think I saw this last week where we're in like 8 states now.
what?
The Uncommon Man is listened to in 8 different states.
Nice.
Yeah. I know, right? Anyways, all glory to the Lord. Anyways, so it was this white death is coming, doom and gloom. And of course, everybody here in Alabama, I don't know if this happens in other parts of the country or not, but everybody here in Alabama floods the grocery store.
It 100% happens in other parts of the country. Tornadoes, hurricanes, snow.
They all
less in the Northeast. Still happens, I think, but less.
They all buy milk and bread. I don't get it because here's the thing: if the power fails,
Yeah, and bottled water. But yeah,
but if the power fails, there goes your milk.
yeah.
Well, you just going to eat your bread?
I mean, unless you got like one of those generator hooked into your.
I mean, sure, okay, but I'm not bougie like that. I don't have a generator plugged into my stuff. Okay, so all I'm saying is I've never understood that, why everybody flocks to maybe they just all really like milky bread sandwiches.
Speaking of, I have always wanted one of those generators, like when your power goes out, it just kicks on and powers your whole house. Like I've always wanted one of those.
Well, sure,
they're incredibly expensive, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm not scared of the dark. I'll be okay.
John's like, I'll sit over here and freeze.
Just put a jacket on.
But that's all I'm saying. Like, and if you do that, or your special someone does that, you have my full blown permission to call them weird. That is weird, dude. Why all the milk in the bread?
I mean, bread and peanut butter makes sense.
Bread makes way more sense than milk.
It does.
I've just never understood that. Anywho, we're so glad that you're here with us now on, what is this, episode 5?
Yeah, it was 5. I had to think for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, go
like,
us, baby. We made it 5. We're not a total dumpster fire yet. Don't worry, John. There's still plenty of time for us to screw this up.
I believe I said before in, I think it was the first episode, something about a small trash can in the corner on fire. I think we're probably more like that.
Are we? Okay, we're not even a dumpster fire. We're just a small trash can.
Did I send you that emoji I made the other day?
Yes.
The Genmoji thing?
My very first thought was, you need a hobby.
No, it took like 4 seconds. It's really easy to do right there in the Messages app on iPhone. Genmoji. I just typed in dumpster fire and it gave me a pretty cool emoji.
It's weird. Anyways.
Hey, you have a dumpster fire emoji now.
That's true, I do. So let me just kind of set the stage for everybody listening today. When John and I initially discussed doing a podcast, one of the things that we talked about wanting to do was an episode on mental health. It was one of the very first things that I went to you about, and I said, I want to discuss this. And let me just go ahead and rat you out a little bit, because we do that. Mm-hmm. You didn't want to.
No, not really.
Right? And that's going to play a huge part into today, because with this type of a topic that we're going to discuss, I think it is something that does not just affect men. I think it affects women. I think it affects everybody.
It does.
Mental health. We have a severe mental health epidemic in our country. If you don't believe me, turn on the news.
And for the record, the reasons that I didn't want to had nothing to do with not.
It's just not something that you're used to talking about, right?
Well, that's not it at all.
Okay, I'm wrong.
But yeah, no, it was just I didn't want to because I just had other directions in mind, which is just fine. We can do both.
Yeah, but
initially men's mental health.
But it was
wasn't
something.
really-
I think it's something for me that obviously I'm extremely passionate about. I'm going to share some very alarming statistics with you about this, as well as some resources and some tools and things that you can use in your life to help you out. So if you're listening to this, take notes.
Not while you're driving.
Yeah, okay. Now while you're driving, don't do that. We are not responsible here on the Uncommon Man podcast. If you take notes while you're driving and you rear end somebody, that is not our fault.
Disclaimer. Or
Don't
if
at
you
me.
run off, don't say not. It's not just if you're rearing somebody. If you run off in the ditch or anything else, we are not responsible.
We're not. Stupid politics. We got to put stuff like that in.
I don't think we have to.
Well,
We're just being
anyways,
stupid right now. Anyway, today, the portion of whatever. What am I trying to say? Sorry, words. What we're talking about today is men don't seek help.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just couldn't get that out. I'm
your
sorry.
brain just decided to take an absolute dump, and John's
Yeah, it
response.
did. I was
John's
just like-
response is words.
All right. Back to a serious note. We as men don't look for help. The overall men, we're less likely, statistically speaking, less likely to have a mental health issue than a woman. Okay. That being said, 6 million men are affected by depression in the United States every single year.
6
Men
million.
die by a suicide rate at 4 times higher than women. Okay, let me put a bow on that. Mental illness is lower. Suicide rate is higher.
4 times.
That does nothing but solidify the fact that men don't look for help.
Yeah.
More women will look for help because they're more willing to talk about their issues. Also, men are more likely to seek quote unquote help through substances like alcohol,
Coping mechanisms.
and drugs. Right.
They don't want to. They don't
mechanisms.
want to deal with the crap. They want to drown in it.
And I don't have any statistics on this, but additionally, a lot of people will use other coping mechanisms that are far less destructive, like hobbies and things like that. And that being said, that's just the way some men cope. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how you cope with a given situation. But
Sure. No, I mean, if I'm overly stressed or overly mad, you know what I do? I get up and I go do something around the house.
yeah, that's pretty normal. But it can get to a point where you're just doing nothing but distracting yourself from it and you're not dealing with the issue,
Yeah.
whatever that issue may be.
Yeah. You absolutely have to come back and deal with it and allow me to use horrible, offensive language here. Talk about it.
So, and over the course of this episode, just so we don't lose you guys, we're going to talk about some statistics that are may or may not blow your mind. Some of you may already know these. We want to talk about why these are important and then what we can do about it.
Yeah, so here were some extremely troubling statistics that I found in preparation for this episode. And I think, John, when you and I were both going over it, both of us were like, wait, really? Check this out.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, check
Some of
this
these I've
out.
heard, but yeah.
77% of men, according to this poll, have suffered with symptoms of common mental health conditions such as anxiety, stress, or depression. And I remember whenever I first read that, I immediately was like, ha, bull crap. You mean to tell me 23% of men said that they've never been stressed? I call bull crap.
23% of the men that were actually polled, sure.
Sure. And look, I don't know where these, I have never been involved in one of these polls, and I would love to be one day. But you know what I'm talking about? Like, you hear all this, well, polls recently say, I've never been polled.
Yeah, me neither.
You know what I'm saying? So, but 77% of men.
They do collect data from other sources other than directly asking people, I'm sure, but still.
True.
It's probably a little higher than that. Now, if you go search these statistics, you might find slightly different percentages.
It's depending on whatever website. Yeah.
It depends on the poll, depends on the year, depends on how many people, so on and so forth. So
How about this one? 40% of men has never spoken to anyone about their mental health. What? 40? That feels low, doesn't it?
A little bit, probably.
That feels low. Never spoken to anybody.
It depends on your definition of spoken to someone about your mental health.
Yeah, that's true. What the measuring stick is, that's true. So, well, I still think that that's a little bit low.
Like what you're thinking
maybe professionally.
Right.
Yeah.
What you're thinking is went to a therapist.
Yeah.
Whether that was mandated because whatever reason or not. What you're thinking is went to a therapist. It could be along the lines of men talks to, I don't know, pastor.
Right. This next one, 29% of those say they are too embarrassed to speak about it, while 20% say that there is a, quote, negative stigma on the issue.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think that most men, let me just, the best perspective, right, for me to speak from is mine. And I'm 35 years old and born and raised in the 90s. And so, yeah, I survived hosepipe water. Okay. I don't know why that's a thing for 90s kids, but it is. But here's the thing. Most of us were all told, man up, deal with your crap, or shove it deep down and don't discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
That if you fall and scrape your knees, suck it up, deal with it, and rub some dirt in it.
Do you know how many Mentos you have to put in a Coke before it'll finally just blow the top?
Isn't it just one?
No, but the point...
What's your point with that?
Okay, the point is if you keep putting Mentos in the Coke, it's eventually going to blow up.
Diet Coke.
What? No, any soda.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop it.
I'm sorry.
If you keep putting Mentos in the Coke, it's eventually going to blow up.
Can we do that?
In other words, if you keep bottling it up, it's eventually going to blow up in some way or another.
Yeah.
And depression in men, speaking from experience,
yeah,
is usually expressed in anger.
Yeah.
At least more often than other things.
The biggest cause of men's mental health issue, according to this poll, were work, 32%, finances, 31%, and their health, 23%. Because most men's identity, most of your common man's identity, is found in what they do, or their status, their title, and their money. Which I think when you really think about it, and you really break that down, there's billionaires that are absolute jerkwads out there.
Probably all of them.
Sure. I don't know. There's some that are good. I've met a few millionaires that were genuinely...
You said billionaires.
Billionaire. Okay. I don't know. I'm sure they're not far off. But all I'm saying is, like, I think people that don't hurt for money, okay, they live whatever kind of lifestyle they want, and money is no object for them. Some of them are good dudes, but some of them, as you well know, that's what their identity is found in.
See episode 4 for perspective.
That's right. Like, their identity is found in how good they are at their job and their profession or whatever. And I think back to something a basketball coach last year said. I don't know his name. He's the head coach for the men's basketball team, and he was getting into it with this official, and the official had enough, right? And so he turns his back, and this head coach for the UConn men's basketball team, Dan Hurley, I think's his name. He turns around and he goes, "Don't turn your back on me. I'm the best effing coach in this sport." And I'm like, your identity is so screwed.
Mm-hmm.
It's found in because you've won a couple of national titles, been to some Final Fours, some Elite Eights. And I realize you're not a sports guy, but like, you know that that's a big enough deal. Sure. But could you imagine saying, "Don't turn your back on me"? Your identity's found in your what?
Yeah, you can't.
One of the biggest causes.
Yeah, it's
their work.
You can't. Your whole identity can't just revolve around work. But regardless, whether sometimes your work can cause mental health issues, and your identity doesn't revolve around it too.
Yeah,
a lot of people. I would say most men don't necessarily enjoy their job.
I think most people don't enjoy their job.
Right. That's true. We're talking about men, though.
But at the end of the day, again, episode 4, it goes back to your perspective, right?
Right.
Because your perspective is, I'm tired of going to this dead-end job. Okay, there are people who would literally kill to have your dead-end job.
Fact. Again, shameless plug. Go watch episode 4 if you haven't yet.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're there are people who want to work and can't find a job or can't work.
And some people hate their job. Which, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes you do have to suck it up and go anyway. But
sometimes you have to suck it up. And I've heard it put this way before. I think there are certain cases where this is true. Is if you ask me, this is not entirely me, but this is what this gentleman said. He said, if you ask me, anybody who hates their job has nobody but themselves to blame for it. And I think to me, like, a lot of it can be your perspective shift. And if you take a step back and look at what it is that you're doing and how you're providing and who you're providing for and what your why is for why you do what you do. I mean, do you agree with that? What do you think?
Can you say the statement again?
If the guy said this, he said, if you ask me, anybody who hates their job has nobody to blame but themselves for it.
If he's thinking about it from the perspective of, I could have a better attitude about it, I could change my perspective on it.
Sure.
Yeah, because if you hate your job, like,
that doesn't
mean you have. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't mean you have to like it. But you don't have to be negative Nancy about it either.
Your perspective can and should
we're
change.
also not contradicting ourselves here. It kind of sounds like we are. Sometimes you do have to shift your perspective, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do to, let's say, provide for your family.
Right.
Like, times get real tough, and you got to work at McDonald's. Then do what you got to do.
That's right.
You can talk to somebody about it, but constantly complaining about it and having a negative attitude is also going to make your mental health go down the drain even more.
That's right. This next one, I'm not going to lie, I don't understand this one at all. 40% of men polled said that it would take thoughts of suicide or self-harm to compel them to get professional help. 40%.
I believe it was you that said that's like treating stage 4 cancer when it's already at stage 4.
Similar. I said that's like not getting cancer treatment until it's stage 5.
Okay, I said 4.
Like, whatever. What? You're not going to go get help because until it's stage 5? You're going to wait until all the warning alarms, bells, whistles, everything is going off before you decide that you're going to get some help?
Yep.
You're going to wait until you've lost everybody and everything?
It's like waiting until your cold becomes bronchitis.
Like, I don't understand that from that standpoint. I saw that statistic when you sent it over, and I was just like, wait a minute. These people are saying almost half of the dudes in this study said that they're not going to go get help until they have thoughts about unaliving themselves.
Where did that term come from?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the politically correct version or not, but I'm just saying.
I don't care. You're
like, I have never understood that. You're going to wait until it's all certainly but over to go get help. I just have never understood that. I digress. All I'm simply saying is, obviously, if those thoughts are in your mind, what that should do is that should make you want to go get it even worse, like even more, to go get the help even more. But you should want that. You should need the help and recognize the need for the help long before it gets to that stage. Let's go to the next one. Since 2008, do you remember what happened in the year of 2008 besides the stock market taking a dump?
The iPhone.
That's right. That's right. I'm impressed. Did you cheat?
No.
Okay, good. So yes, in 2008, the iPhone with all the apps released. But did you know this one broke my heart? Since 2008, suicide rates in men have increased by nearly 300%. Oh, my Lord. 300% increase.
It's a lot.
And I'm venturing to say this, and I'm not wrong. If you think I am, argue with the wall. It is because we simply cannot put down our phones.
It's a huge part of it.
I think that's
2008.
Yeah, in 2008, because of the iPhone, we have become the loneliest generation there ever was.
As far as loneliness, I will say that is a huge contributing factor, probably not the only thing. What else happened in the beginning of the early 2000s?
9/11.
Yep.
Changed history.
Yep. Where did a whole lot of men go?
Overseas.
And where did they come back to?
A country that absolutely showed them no thanks or appreciation. Yes, a country that showed them
probably not like a Vietnam level, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a bunch of,
and then you've got a bunch of PTSD,
blue-haired liberal women hating all of them. But they have, after seeing some stuff that they saw over there, have some pretty severe mental health problems.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of PTSD soldiers.
That's not even their fault.
No.
And suicide rates in veterans is
staggering.
It is.
Yeah.
And then give them an iPhone when they come back.
Yeah, that's just. But the problem is people don't know when to put their phones down. I'll give you a great example of something that I personally do. Like every night at 7:00, my phone goes into do not disturb. You cannot get to me unless somebody is dead or dying into my phone. Or get to me through my phone because of that. Even today, my wife and I have been dating for a little over 10 years, married for almost 8. And even today, if we go to a restaurant or whatever, only one of us takes our phone in, and that's for an emergency use. And if you take your phone in, it goes into D&D immediately.
Yeah.
And we don't bring it out.
That's a good practice.
Because it's be where you are.
That's a good practice. There's another thing that I thought of while you were saying that about veterans. We were talking about the negative stigma on mental health earlier. In the military, that stigma is even more prevalent. Now, I think enough people in the military are going to understand something like PTSD to where you're not necessarily... from personal experience. Other people may have different experiences, right?
You're talking from a military perspective.
But from personal experience, if you went to ask for help, there might be some people that talk about you behind your back. And they're probably not going to say anything to your face. There might be some people that talk about you behind your back. Like, so for instance, I was on a submarine. You have to volunteer for submarine service. If you want to get off of the submarine and go regular Navy, you typically, what people do is they do what's called tapping out, which means they go to the chaplain or the squadron psychiatrist and say, hey, I can't do this because I'm crazy. One guy literally picked up a knife and acted like he was going to stab somebody. I saw that happen. I don't think he had any intention of actually doing so.
Sure.
But he was like, I'm done with this.
But he just went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and
and
they were like, all right.
Yeah, exactly. That dude, nobody's going to make fun of him for getting help.
No, but
they're going to talk about it for all eternity.
But see, why did he do that? Why did he do that? Because he felt like he had nowhere else to go. He felt like he had to do something out of character. Desperate people do desperate things. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Listen, it is okay if people can't get a hold of you from time to time. The late, great Charlie Kirk, regardless of whether or not you like him or you hate him, he had a practice that I thought was absolutely genius, where every Saturday night he turned his phone off and put it in a drawer. And he did not turn it back on until Monday morning. I thought that was a great idea, a great practice, because it guaranteed no distractions. And I realize that in today's world, it is something that is our very lives are operated around. But here's the thing, you're the CEO of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You get to decide who's in, who's out, who can be involved, and who can't. Guess what? If you're a parent, you can decide that for your kids.
You should decide that for
That's
kids,
right.
for the record.
Like, one of the biggest things, my wife and I were out to eat a few weeks ago, and I will never forget, I'm seeing this family, and it's a mother, a father, a son, and a daughter. They're all four at the dinner table. Not a single one of them talking to each other.
Yeah, they're probably staring at their phones. You
Guess
can walk
what?
into any restaurant.
Common
and find
lives.
5 or
Common
6.
lives. We're on this. We're doing this podcast to help everybody lead uncommon lives. That's why it's called the Uncommon Man. 2 more here. 1 in 3 men say that they have no one in their life that they can confide in.
And I bet you they do. And
They
I
just
bet
don't
you
realize it.
one of those other people in their lives thinks the same thing.
Yep.
When in reality, they could confide in each other.
Yep.
We're just less likely to talk about it.
We don't want to.
And a lot of times when, say, something crappy did happen to you, you're like, hey, how'd that one thing go? You're like, oh, it's fine. It sucked. And you start talking about the weather or football or whatever.
Yeah. Because the problem is this. We live in a world where we tell ourselves silently, what if they knew? What if they knew that I actually struggled with that?
We think it makes us look weak.
Well,
We'll get to that.
And the question I would say is, if that's the way you think, my simple response, I don't talk to anybody because of whatever. How's that working out for you?
Mm-hmm.
How's that going? The guy that picked up a knife and acted like he was going to stab somebody did something out of character. And I don't know the dude from anywhere.
To be fair, I don't know that it was necessarily out of character for that guy.
Well,
but that's beside the point.
But still, and most people in their right minds would go, well, I would never. Well, desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah.
And all I'm simply stating is that we need to be able to unplug and take that time away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One more, 70% of all of Gen Z, if you're a parent and you're listening to this podcast and you have Gen Z kids, 70% of all Gen Z says they have a constant feeling of loneliness. My God, what a nightmare.
Because being connected virtually is...
Yeah.
We're the most connected virtually and the least connected physically.
Society.
Is physically the right word?
History. No. You said that perfectly.
Is physically the right? Well, whatever. You know what I mean.
We are, yes, because we're not connected to the majority of people. We don't talk about our issues. We don't talk about our crap that we've got going on. Instead, we go and we confide, or we rant and we rave on the internet and blah, 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 and whatever. But all I'm simply stating is this. 70% of all Gen Z feels like they're lonely. I guarantee you, parents, you want to help with that? You get to do this as the parent. Take the daggum phone out of their hand. They will be okay. Or if you don't want to do that, you say, it's not worth that fight. Take them somewhere there's no cell service.
Yeah. We do some version of screen time in my house.
Yeah, we have limits. But the biggest reason I think, like I said, that men don't talk about it is they were just raised not to.
Yeah. Everybody has something probably very similar growing up. Anybody our age, give or take, or older, especially older.
Because I'm 35, you're
32.
32?
Yeah. So, I mean, in some roundabout way, most of us were told, maybe not even in these words, but just through examples, like, we don't talk about it. Like, if you got something going on, you're fine. Go rub some dirt in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't rub dirt in feelings. If you fall and skin your knee, yeah, okay, you're fine. Is it bleeding? No. Here, let's clean it up.
No, but if you got a bone sticking out of your leg.
Okay. Yes, that's different. But
can you watch those videos, by the way? You know what I'm talking about?
What do you mean, can I?
Like sometimes there are certain people out there who, like, if I don't know, they're watching a sports game and somebody's like bone snaps.
Oh, dude, I rewatch it.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
Like, oh, rewind it. Let me see that again.
Have we seen the horror?
Yeah,
I can. It doesn't bother me. I like what it is. The videos where you're going, that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's like you pause it and you're like, I don't think it's like supposed to have been that way. That's gotta hurt.
The man's balls sticking out. That's gotta hurt.
Anyway, you
we're a dumpster fire.
You can't rub dirt in your feelings.
That's right. Here are some other reasons.
That's a word that, again, we as men don't like using.
Which one?
Feelings.
Oh, yeah.
That being said,
you got to talk about your feelings too.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, we can make a whole nother episode about that for all I care.
No, not
about feelings. Just about feelings. Today's kind of talk about it. Freaking talk about it. Open your trap. Talk about it.
No, I mean, to what I was about to say at the end because I was getting ahead of myself there.
Stop getting ahead of here. Anyways, here's some other reasons that I have found that men choose not to talk about their feelings or their issues. These are some of the things the common things that were said. You've probably said some of these yourself, and if you have, that's okay. Here's how we're learning and getting better. I've learned to deal with it.
Did you just say learnt?
Learned. That my note said learnt by accident, and I've learned.
Oh my God! You typed learnt.
I did not type it.
It didn't autocorrect to that. I guarantee you that.
My bad. All right, here I'll fix it. There we go.
Next, I don't wish to be a burden to anyone.
No, hold on. You've learned to deal with it.
Yeah.
What?
Which means you haven't dealt with it.
Right. That's a direct contradiction. If it's still bothering you, you haven't dealt with it.
Fact.
All right. I don't wish to be a burden on anyone.
If you're talking to the right person, you're not a burden.
First off, if that person says that you're a burden because you're unloading some crap on them, guess what? You need to unfriend them like immediately.
Right. Like I just said, if you're talking to the wrong person.
Yeah, they're not your friend. You don't want to, I can't be bothered with your crap going on. I got my own crap going on. I'm sorry, you're a selfish jerk.
Yeah. Next, I'm too embarrassed.
You're too embarrassed.
Which leads back to the stigma.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want people to see you as weak.
People need to learn this very, very key piece of mental health advice. It is okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Everybody goes through it, man. Everybody does. You're too embarrassed. I'd rather you talk about it than me have to talk about you at your funeral. And yeah, that's deep, and yeah, that's harsh. But I'm tired of going to funerals because people just didn't want to talk about it because they were too embarrassed. There's a negative stigma. The next one, there's a negative stigma around this type of thing.
Which we
covered earlier.
Yeah.
But again, to sit there and say, I don't want to talk about it because there's a negative stigma because it somehow makes you look weak. You stuffing it down is the equivalent of taking all of the trash in your house
and
throwing it underneath the living room rug. What's going to happen? Eventually, that rug's going to look weird. It's going to start to smell. And it's going to go very, very bad very, very quickly. We have to get out of this place of let me just shovel it underneath the rug and hope it goes away.
Yeah.
That is not how we fix our problems, and that's not going to work. The next one, you don't want to admit, or they said this, I don't want to admit I need support.
That kind of goes hand in hand
I can
with
understand
being embarrassed or not want to be a burden.
I can understand saying, so here's the key difference to me. You say, I don't want to admit I need support. Okay. That means you have elevated somebody on some sort of a level that has all of their crap together. And that's just quite simply not true.
Mm-mm.
People, you can listen to John and myself and say, well, these guys must have their stuff together because they're covering the things that nobody else wants. No,
we're just sitting here having a conversation.
We're just sitting here having a conversation. We're two dumpster fires trying to help one another out and trying to bring everybody else along with us.
All right, it's enough dumpster fire talk for one day.
All right. You made a dumpster fire emoji.
Yeah, it wasn't in relation to myself.
Whatever. Admit you need support. It's okay. And here's why. They said, I don't want to appear weak.
Which, yeah, again, we've already said a few times.
Yeah. And the last one, I have no one to talk to. Side note. Sometimes there's a time to suck it up and be the strong one and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sometimes your family needs you to be the one to do that.
Yeah. So this goes into that stigma a little bit, because as kids, we were taught, as to some extent we should have been, we were taught that you're the strong one. You're the one that has to take care of the weaker ones around you, the women in your life, whatever the case may be. However,
which women are not weak, but yes.
I wasn't.
No, I know that's not what you're saying, but what I'm saying, that was the stigma that we were taught.
It's your job to care for and provide.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be the strong one. You're supposed to be the one that carries the heavy loads. To some extent, that is correct. That is 100% correct. But that doesn't mean that you have to just shove everything down. You can be strong. You can still do those things when you need to, but still realize that you need help.
Yeah.
Right? Like, sometimes, no, it is not the right time to show fear.
That's right.
When somebody busts through your front door and wants to, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to get into. They want to do unspeakable things. That's not the time to show fear. That's the time when you absolutely be that man.
Yeah.
Right? Deal with it now, and then deal with it. You still have to deal with whatever that did to you mentally later.
Yeah, because like you're saying though, is there's the time to admit I need some help, I need support, I'm struggling with here, and to find that person to talk to, right? But then there's the times where it's time to step up, be the man, and then process and deal with the emotions later.
Right.
Right. Like, we said that we don't want to, we don't have anybody to talk to a minute ago. Dude, I literally used to have I mean, we're still friends to this day. We've both got kids and we're married now, and it just doesn't work out as it did back then. But dude, we used to literally get together and sit in my backyard, and we would put a fire in the fire pit. And we would just sit there and talk life and crap for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just as two dudes, like we were just sit there and talk about our crap. And how it was shocking the number of times that one of us would say something that we were dealing with or going through, and the other guy would go, "Bro, I know exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. That makes sense. Oh my God, I'm not the only one." What could it look like if we practice that a little bit more?
Yeah.
To be intentional about that and schedule it.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. I was reminded of something the other day. I can't remember the author and I don't remember the book, but I was reminded of this the other day. He was comparing the way men and women deal with things, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Men are waffles and women are spaghetti. Think about that for a second, though. I know, it's funny on purpose.
All I want some daggone. I mean, I like spaghetti, but more. But please keep going. I've never heard this before.
No.
No.
Okay, what's a waffle look like? It's a bunch of nice, neat little squares.
Yeah.
You can take each thing that's going on in your life and put it in a square. When you need to deal with that thing, you go to that square.
Uh-huh.
Women, it's like spaghetti.
Uh-huh.
It's all just everywhere, all the time. Right? They deal with things so much faster because it is right at the forefront of their mind.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
That is so
When I go to work, if I've got something else going on, when I go to work, I'm not thinking about that thing. I'm thinking about what I'm doing right then because I have to sometimes.
Yeah.
Again, from experience, there's been times where I've had some crazy stuff going on in my life.
Yeah.
But if I'm out to sea on a submarine, and what I did was I was most of the time either a navigation supervisor or quartermaster. If somebody needed to know where we were going, how long it was going to take to get there, where we can't go, so on and so forth. If I'm not on my game, we could get in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it's not that I was like the last hope there or anything. I'm not trying to say that, but I had to be, every single one of us had to be on our game.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we are designed to be able to compartmentalize things like that on purpose.
Differently. The men versus women.
Which helps us, right. Which helps us to, in many cases, be strong and carry those burdens.
Mm-hmm. And there's a balance to it, right? There's a balance between knowing when to show and talk about the emotion and the vulnerabilities that you're dealing with and when not to. There is a balancing act. We're not saying it's not difficult.
That's when having someone in your life to talk to, like, and we'll get to how to find that person in a second.
Yeah.
That's when having someone in your life that you can talk to that knows these things, that is a good Christian person.
Your boy.
To tell you.
That's right.
Like, dude, you need to shut up.
That's right.
Like, you're just complaining and you have a crappy attitude.
Oh, wait, I thought you were telling me to shut up. I'm like, okay.
But no. Not yet. I will later. Sure. Okay. But, like, you need to have somebody that can tell you, no, you just have a crappy attitude and you need to stop it.
Yeah.
Or, all right, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
You know, and you should have some wherewithal to kind of know too.
So how do we improve it? Right? How do we improve our mental health for our life?
Well, first of all, like I was just saying, you need to have people, more than just one person, but at least one person, that you can talk to.
Exactly.
Someone that ideally someone that understands where you're coming from.
Somebody,
or at least
there needs to be 1, 2, maybe even 3 different people in your life, whether you're a man or a woman, whenever they ask you, hey man, how you doing? That it is okay in a safe space for you to land and go, you know what? Life freaking sucks right now and I'm not okay.
Yeah.
You know, the people those are your people that you can call at 2 a.m. Whenever you're tired. You're tired of fighting. You don't know how to get up the next day because you feel like you're just going to deal with the same next level start of absolute just garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody appreciates, nobody thanks, nobody, you can't talk about it, right? Because then what if they knew this and all that? You need to have those people that the next time you go to them and they say, hey, how's it going? That you can land on it and be like, you know what, buddy? I'm struggling. I wonder how many horrible things in our world, how many shootings could be prevented, right? If we just simply had that person, because a lot of it is built up, pent up rage. If you just had that person, that's someone that you could fall and just say, you know what, I'm not okay. And if you're listening to this and you're going, well, I don't have nobody, you're wrong. Fall into the arms of Jesus and let him do it. Let him carry you. He wants to. He wants to carry that burden with you. I said it before on this podcast, and I'll say it again. There is nothing in this world that you can't go through or that you will go through that Jesus himself didn't experience.
Right. But you do still need a physical person in your life to be able to talk to.
Yes, but what I'm simply saying, you do need that. What I'm simply saying is make sure that you and the Lord, are you falling in his arms? Or are you falling into coping mechanisms? Are you falling into alcohol and pornography addiction and all the things that are absolutely wrecking your life? Where are you falling into? Everybody, I read this in a book last year, everybody is being led by something or someone. What are you being led by, and what are you leading? Who's following you? Have that person that when they say, "Hey John, you doing okay, buddy?" "No, man, you know what? I'm not okay. Do you mind if we get some lunch and let's just talk this crap out?"
Yeah.
Instead, what the common man does is they say, "Yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. How's it going? Did you catch the game last night?" "Yeah." Again, how's that working for you?
"I'm fine." "Yeah, are you?"
Exactly. I mean, I've literally gone to a funeral for somebody before, and I asked their sibling. I was very good friends with their sibling, and I asked their sibling like the next day. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" "Oh man, I'm great." I was like, "You want to run that by me again?" And you know what? You got a point.
That's just what people do.
Yeah.
It's like a greeting at this point. "How's it going?" "I'm good."
"I'm good. How are you?" Newsflash. Nobody's fine.
It's like saying, hey. It's
The and this is backed up in scripture. Bring it to light.
Ephesians 5:13.
Yeah. Ephesians 5:13 says, everything exposed in the light becomes visible. And everything that is illuminated becomes light. And really what I'm getting at whenever I say bring it to light is give those emotions and those feelings a name. Bring them to the light. When they're in the darkness, they're going to eat you alive. Bring them to light. Talk about them with somebody. You're struggling with it, talk about it with somebody. That safe space, that landing space that you can go to. If you want, listen, I know I can go ahead and say this, and John's not going to, edit this out. But if you're like, "Man, I have absolutely nobody," listen, email us. Follow us, DM us. We don't care. Let us know, and we would love to be able to help you out with that. Let us help you walk through the things that you're going through.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
judgment free.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to do that. The best thing you can do, though, is find a community. So get in a church, and I don't mean watch church online. The biggest reason to go to a physical building is to find some community.
Yeah.
That's one reason I think small groups are so important.
So vitally important.
Now, a good small group. I mean, if you want to go to a knitting small group, by all means, knock yourself out. But you also need a really good group of men that you can confide in.
You've got a small group coming up.
I do.
Yeah. And guess what we're all going to do? We're going to sit around a coffee table, drink some coffee, and talk about crap. We're going to talk our crap out.
Like, I mean, yeah, in a nutshell, yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's, and find somebody that you can do that with, that you can just simply go grab that cup of coffee, go grab lunch with. And if you know somebody that's struggling, invite them.
Yeah.
"Hey, man, let's go get some lunch." Offer them that safe space, that place to land.
And some people struggle to make friends. Some people just struggle socially, which is, fun fact, gonna drive them deeper into a depression or whatever the case may be. And if that's the case, you have to know that there are people out there that do care. It's not like the whole world doesn't care. Even if you are a little socially weird, there's plenty of people that absolutely care.
Yeah. So get your people. Where do you get the help? Your people.
Yeah.
There's a reason, guys, if you've been following along, there's a reason that we have mentioned this now 3 episodes in a row. You need your people.
Honestly, it might be 4.
Whatever.
I don't know. We've talked about it a lot.
The
There's a
people
reason
that you
for
can
that.
go to and that you can be like, I'm struggling with this and I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's of the utmost, I can't stress it enough. That is of the utmost important. You need your people, the people you do life with.
Sometimes if you want to be healed from something, you can pray about it. God will send someone to you.
Mm-hmm.
God uses people to answer prayers.
God, I wanted you to heal me. I sent 4 people.
Yeah. Like
you shoved them all off.
Exactly.
You know, people also say, well, there's, I need help with this. Go to the Bible. It can help.
Yep.
Holy stinking crap. Open the Bible and see what it has to say about your issue. Google it. Scriptures about bleh. Whatever that looks like.
It really is that simple.
Your pastor would be a good one, right?
Yeah.
You're a good Bible-believing, faith-based pastor. Well, most people think pastors, all they do is they preach on Sundays. They do way more counseling than they do preaching.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be depending on your, denomination, whatever, like a lead pastor of a church.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Really what we're talking about here is someone that a godly man that will counsel you. It's more of a counsel than a sit down and have
yeah.
We're sitting down having a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of a counselor sort of situation. That doesn't necessarily have to be a pastor. If you go to a massive mega church, like you're not going to get the lead pastor, right?
Yeah.
But there's people on the staff in a church like that. There's something there. They have the resources.
That's right.
They can help you.
And then finally, a counselor or a therapist.
Right.
There is a unfortunate stigma that is just not true, is that if you see a counselor or a therapist, that you're a psycho. And the fact of the matter is, that's just not true. It's one of those, like, I'll be completely honest with you. I had a very personal thing that happened, I think last week. And literally the next day, I messaged my counselor. And I was like, hey, can we meet? Because I knew that if I shoved that down and just didn't deal with it, I was going to be in a world of hurt. But here's like what was very, very interesting was I sent a text out to a handful of my friends, and I'm pretty sure within about 2 or 3 hours, every single one of them had responded, what can I do? Do you need anything? Can I pray for you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, that's community right there, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's community. That's awesome.
If you want it, you can find it. It's there.
That's right.
You have to look, though.
So to put a bow on it, the point, obviously, behind this episode, seeking help does not make you any less manly. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you look like anything that you've built up into your mind that you think it does. Asking for help is a show of strength. It's showing you and it's showing others that it's okay to talk about things. It's okay to not be okay.
Sometimes you just simply need some help.
Sometimes we just need some help, man.
And that's all right.
And I think the reality is, until we are willing to admit that I'm not okay and I need some help and I need to talk about it, we're going to continue to live in that same vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And what I'm here today to tell every single person that's listening to this podcast, or whether you're watching it, anybody listening under the sound of my voice, is there's a God of the universe that loves you more than you could ever begin to imagine. He knew what it was like. He sent his son to die on a cross for you. And his son knew exactly what it felt like to be betrayed. He knew exactly what it felt like to not be okay. He knew exactly what it felt like to be stabbed in the back by those that were closest to him, by those that once adored him. And I promise you that if you will fall into the arms of Jesus and let him be the one, Jesus said this, he said, cast your cares upon me. Let me carry it. You weren't designed to carry the things of this world and the weight of this world that you're carrying around. Quite simply, you weren't designed. It's like trying to put a CD into a floppy disk drive. It's just not going to work. Fall into the arms of Jesus and let him be the one to carry you through this season. This too shall pass. It's not always going to be this way. And it's okay to not be okay. You got anything you want to add to that?
No, that pretty much summed it up, I think.
Let's pray. Father, I thank you so much for your grace, your love. God, I thank you so much for the opportunity for this platform. I thank you for the Uncommon Man podcast and what you've put on John and my heart to share. I pray, Lord, that everybody that listens to this episode, God, that they would learn to see what it looks like to just simply ask for help, to know that it's okay to not be okay. God, that would they fall into your arms, and when they do, would you carry them? I pray for every single person that's listening to this. Those that feel like they can't take another step. Those that feel like it's a dead-end road. And then some of them just don't even want to wake up tomorrow. I pray, Lord, that you show them the great and unbelievable purpose for their lives. That they are built on purpose, for a purpose, by a God who loves them more than they could ever begin to imagine. God, thank you so much for your love, your grace. Thank you for your Son. We honor you. We thank you today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks for listening. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you know someone who would enjoy this, please pass it along. You can follow us on Instagram at uncommon.man or reach out at theuncommonman.podcast@gmail.com. Keep pursuing excellence, and above all, pursue Christ.